to thank John McLeod once again for piping in the inductees and the inductee representatives. It always gives a nice start for the evening. And would everybody be seated, please? I have a list of the inductees that are here tonight or being represented by others. It looks a little like an X and an O's game to me, but I'll do my best to get this accurate. First of all, representing Bill Little is his son Paul Little and daughter-in-law Sandy. Bob McGeehan is in attendance. Danny Mandich and Isabel representing Danny Mandich. Gary Summerhays. Harold Irene Avery represented by daughter Bev Kirk. Jack Shushuk represented by Jay Shushuk, Candace Freeman. Jim Carmen represented by his granddaughter Shauna Drummy. Joe Kaori represented by his daughter Donna Timchik. Joel Balberman. John Summerhays. Kevin Sullivan represented by his father Rick Sullivan. Max Clayton represented by his son, we have an X there. Mickey Ian represented by his great nephew Bob Ian. Peter Ham. Rick Bannon. Roy Kurtz. Terry Summerhays. Walter Gretzky. Pat Woodburn. Gaylord and Ross Powlis represented by daughter Gail Ayers. I see Jackie Powlis, Jane Henhock, niece and granddaughter. Bison's alumni represented by Peter Bartle and Jason Richardson. I hope I didn't miss anybody following the list, but we would like to welcome everybody here on this very important and prestigious evening in this community. Thank you again. I was wondering where my clipboard went from when I used to work. Okay. The one thing that we are going to do that is very important is we are going to offer moments of silence for two of our inductees that were lost to us over the past year. One being Bill Little and the other being Gilbert Henderson. If you would bow your heads, please. Thank you for that. Okay, to start the evening off, first of all, for anybody that doesn't know, I'm Ross Enslev. I've been a member of this community, for 65 and 8/10 years now, and been a part of the Sports Hall Induction Committee for 12 to 15 years. It's my honor to be the speaker this evening to share with the community in such a wonderful event. We'll start off tonight with an old classmate of mine, and I'd like to invite her up to the stage, Audrey Powlis Bomberry, representing Six Nations elected. She's elected councillor from District 1.
First of all, I thank you very much for having me here tonight. I feel quite honored. And I bring greetings on behalf of the Six Nations Elected Council. And I'm in place of Ava Hill tonight, who's our chief, and she sends her regrets. I'm recently retired from education teaching and vice principal for the last 42 years. In November, I became an elected councillor. So this game of politics is new to me, and it's lots of fun. I'm here tonight to extend my greetings to everyone and to my congratulations to all of the inductees. We have many amazing Six Nations athletes. Six Nations continues to be a leader in lacrosse. All of our men's lacrosse teams, the Rebels, the Arrows, the Rivermen, and the Chiefs, made the finals in every division in 2014. The Rebels won the Junior B Founders Cup. The Arrows won the Junior A Minto Cup. The Chiefs won the Senior A Man Cup, and the Rivermen placed second in the President's Cup. Another athlete that we have is quite promising. Her name is Carrie Lee Thomas, Vice, and she is plays softball, third baseman for Team Canada. And she did in 2012, 14, 15, and 16. She's trying out again this year. And I am the vice principal, or was the vice principal until March, of Jameson Elementary School, and that's where Carrie is a teacher. So she instills all those values of goal setting, character, never give up, that positive attitude, and that camaraderie. So we're very blessed to have her at our school. Another up-and-coming young man is a name of Brandon Montour. He played this year in the NHL for the Anaheim Ducks, and he has a great future in front of him. So let's keep our eye out for him, because I would imagine one day we'll be honoring him up here as well. And Six Nations has some very deserving athletes who have won a lot of games, teams, and we think that they have the ability to and should be recognized up here too. So we look forward to nominating them in the years to come. Some that come to mind are Roger Buck-Smith, who played with my father, or our father. My sisters are sitting over here, so they're probably frowning at me right now. Ivan Thomas, Ron Thomas was the goalie with the Brantford Warriors, Willie Logan, and many others. The Sports Hall of Recognition has a special place in my heart, because our father, Ross Paulus, our brother Gaylord Paulus, and our first cousin, Stan Jonathan, are all in the Hall of Fame here. So we're very proud of that. And as we were growing up, it was hard to tell that we were in the presence of greatness. When Gaylord, we used to take us outside and make us stand there with a lacrosse stick and hold it, and then he'd drill a ball at you, and you didn't know whether to drop a stick and run or catch it. But 99% of the time he hit the stick. So he was absolutely a marvelous lacrosse player, as well as he was an absolutely wonderful brother. He was a leader in the fact that he was a pioneer in lacrosse. He moved away when he was very young. At 17, he went to Oshawa, played for the Green Gales, won many Minto Cups. Our father, Ross Paulus, in my mind, was way before his time. He took the sport of lacrosse that he loved. He built it up to the state it was in its heyday in the 70s with the Brantford Warriors. They played all over Ontario and some in the United States. And through that love of lacrosse, he bridged community-mindedness among all cities. And that's what we have to strive for and never give up on. As Ross said, we're friends back from high school, so was Bob Ian. We all went to BCI together, and we're still friends to this day, and that was only a few years ago. Right, Bob? Right, Ross? To my family, I thank you for attending and being here to support our family. And I would like to congratulate the inductees. I met a few of you tonight. I look forward to meeting all of you later to give you my personal congratulations. But congratulations on behalf of the Six Nations Elected Council and the Six Nations community. We are together in this for the rest of our lives, and there in the next 7 generations we'll be together. So it's very important we work together, and sports is one of the things that binds and ties us together. So please join me also in recognizing all the organizers for their dedication in promoting and building this to such a successful event, the Sports Hall of Recognition. I also want to recognize a member from our community. Her name is Cheryl Hennock, and she's on the board as well. So Cheryl, if you're here, would you stand up, please? Where are you, Cheryl? Oh. Standing up. Ross said you are standing up. She works very hard for our community. She runs our parks and recreation, and without her, our sports wouldn't be as far ahead as they are. So I'm honored to be here, and I look forward to meeting and congratulating the inductees personally, and everyone have an enjoyable evening. Nyawa. Let's thank you in Mohawk.
Thank you very much, Audrey, for those kind messages and some history of Six Nations lacrosse, which we've been treated to here since the late 60s anyway that I can recall. And thank you. I'd like to invite our MP, Phil McColeman, to the stage on behalf of himself. Now, Phil's taking some time off this evening from his vigorous training routine as he gets ready for his last time in goal in the hockey in Brantford, and he's vowing this year to get a shout out, I understand. Anyway, welcome, Phil.
Hardly. I gave that up 2 years ago. I did. We've run a charity hockey game every summer. Some of you have been there, and been really rewarding. And I was thinking of Brandon Montour, by the way, watching him, because he's played in our game every year, and we've watched him grow through the years at our game, and what an incredible talented skater that kid is. I am so thrilled to be here. I'm typically in Ottawa, but I decided that it was time I made it here for various reasons. But it really is to honor not only the past inductees, or to honor the current inductees this year and the honoree, but also the past inductees and the people who have their names in our Sports Hall of Fame. You know, I'm one of those kids from Tollgate Road in Brantford who grew up first stepping on the ice at the Arctic Arena. And when I hear and I'm around everyone and their sports history, we have such a wealth of sports talent in this community in all of the various sporting endeavors. And I am so proud of our community when I'm in Ottawa and ultimately get talking about some sport, be it track and field or football or whatever the sport, baseball, to relay the stories of all of the wonderful people we grew up, including Gaylord, watching him play, and all of the wonderful athletes we have. So thank you for all of you who've taken it to that level, that elite level in sports. And it is right that our community recognizes you. And I know tonight we have a Paralympian being recognized in Bill, and I've had the occasion to be around special individuals with a son who's intellectually disabled in Special Olympics. And I can tell you the act of competing does so much for so many of all of our citizens. And you inspire us at all levels. And one last comment to a very special person that I really wanted to be here for tonight, and that's Kent Dickson and the Dickson family. Kent has done exceptional things in his business life. He's done exceptional things in the sport of football, and I am so happy tonight that he is being recognized, but also happy that his family who are here with him are a group of high achievers, every one of them. And they stand out in our community and often under the radar with the success that they've had in their business ventures and in sports. So Kent, to you tonight, you deserve this, and thank you so much for allowing me to say a few words.
Thanks very much, Phil. On behalf of our MPP Dave Levac and our Mayor Chris Friel, I will be reading letters that they have sent. I've audited them somewhat and thrown in a few things that they probably didn't write, but no, I didn't. I was going to talk about playing nicely in the sandbox, but I'm not going to. Anyway, this is from Dave Levac. As the member of Provincial Parliament for the riding of Brant, I would like to extend my congratulations to Brantford Area Sports Hall of Recognition as you host your 2017 induction ceremony. Regrettably, my schedule does not allow me to join you today as I am scheduled to be away on speaker business. I would like to congratulate the Sports Hall Executive Committee in inducting Bill Morgan, John Monet, Brian Fogarty, Jocelyn Jay, Shay McNichol, and Derek Graham for their incredible achievements in sports, as well as Kent Dickson, as he is recognized as a 2017 honoree for his individual contribution to sport. It is with my immense appreciation that I commend the Brantford Area Sports Hall of Recognition for your work in Brant, which allows for accomplishments of local athletes and sport builders to be upheld, encouraged, and celebrated through events such as this ceremony. The work of the Sports Hall of Recognition Services plays an important role in our community's contribution to sport. I am honored to recognize your ability to preserve and promote the achievements of the Brant athletes you will be commending at tonight's ceremony. Dave Levac. Greetings from Mayor Chris Friel. As Mayor of the City of Brantford, it is my pleasure on behalf of my council colleagues to welcome you to the Brantford Area Sports Hall of Recognition's 2017 induction ceremony being held Thursday, June 8th at the Best Western Park Inn and Conference Center. Whew. In particular, I extend a warm welcome to the many visitors to our community for this event, including special guests from outside our city. Brantford has a rich history of sports excellence, and it is a privilege to recognize this year's inductees who have made significant and exemplary contributions to their respective sports and the Brantford community. Thank you and congratulations to Bill Morgan, John Monet, Brian Fogarty, Jocelyn Jay, Shay McNichol, Derek Graham, and Kent Dickson. A special thank you to all the athletes, coaches, families, and volunteers attending this year's ceremony. I wish each and every one of you a grand time in the Telephone City, tournament capital of Ontario. I know that your stay will be enriched by the warmth and hospitality of our citizens, and best wishes to all of the participants. Chris Friel. Also like to mention that Mayor Ron Eddy was unable to attend tonight, and he sends his congratulations. And I would like that John Sless and Councillor John Utley to stand and thank them for their continued support of the Sports Hall. And Northridge Golf Course. Now, on to the important business that we're here for. First of all, our first inductee is Brian Fogerty. An interesting thing was brought to my attention earlier this week, that it's a week of birthdays in the Fogerty family. Tom, Brian's dad, his birthday would have been on June 6th, and that was on Tuesday. Brian's would be on June 11th, and Mom Virginia, who is with us, is June 16th. I hope I didn't let the cat out of the bag, Virginia. And here we are inducting Brian this evening, also in that same time frame. So that's very interesting, I find it. Brian Fogarty was a 1980s OHL superstar who was born in Montreal but grew up in Brantford, and of course Walter was Greenbrier, that good old neighborhood. He was drafted first overall by the Kingston Canadians and 9th overall into the NHL, actually 6 spots ahead of Joe Sakic. In 1989, Brian was the CHL Player of the Year. In that year, he scored 48 goals, breaking Bobby Orr's record, which was 23 years earlier. Also, he scored an amazing 155 points in 60 games as a defenseman, breaking shattering the record that had been set in the past. If you think of this year, the top scorer in the CHL was Sammy Steele of the Regina Pats with 131 points, and he played approximately 70 games. So that was quite an outstanding performance. The record he broke was held by Cam Plant. Both records still stand, as do his 8 points in one game, which he did twice. Among Brian's 156 NHL games were 12 with the Pittsburgh Penguins in 1992, where he had 4 assists. The Pens won the Stanley Cup that year. He also holds the distinction of scoring the last natural hat trick for the former Quebec Nordique. Quite an accomplishment. I would like to welcome Brian's sister Lynn to the stage to accept on behalf of Brian and his family. Lynn? Lynn, are you bringing a bodyguard?
I was told to come.
Oh, I guess you're the one that...
Are you going to do that? They usually speak first. Do they? Yeah, they usually speak first.
There you go.
Pat had it wrong. Yeah.
No, we got to do this right, so.
Sorry.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you. To begin with, I would like to let you know that I would have preferred not to be standing here tonight. I would have preferred to be sitting there amongst you all with my family and friends, applauding and smiling as my brother Brian got up to accept this prestigious honor. But that is not the case. So on behalf of our family, at the request of our mother, Virginia Fogarty, I would like to thank the Brantford and Area Sports Hall of Recognition for recognizing and honoring Brian's accomplishments while playing hockey. This is a truly humbling tribute. The Fogarty family would also like to thank all the people who have nominated Brian over the years, and a special thank you to Brian's good friend, Greg Hover, who sent in his nominations religiously year after year in hopes that this day would become a reality. And it has, so thank you from the bottom of our hearts. As a family, we would also like to take this opportunity to congratulate all the 2017 inductees, Bill Morgan, John Monet, Jocelyn Jay, Shay McNichol, Derek Graham, and honoree Kent Dixon. Thank you for your contributions and outstanding achievement in your respective sports. Thank you all for being ambassadors to our wonderful city. It completely boggles the mind to think that a community of about 94,000 people has produced so many amazing athletes. I'm sure if Brian were here tonight, he would want to send out a huge thank you to the Brantford Minor Hockey Association and to all of his coaches, former teammates, and their parents, and to the countless volunteers who helped him along the way. A special thank you to his former coach and mentor, Mr. Warren Bayshard, who never lost touch with Brian throughout his hockey career. Brantford is where it all started. This is where it all became possible. Brian was a left-handed offensive defenseman, the truly complete player. He skated like the wind. He could rush the puck from behind his net and take it all the way to the other end of the rink. He was blessed with both quickness and anticipation. He had the size, hands, and vision. He was a huge, powerful, and overwhelming force on the ice with crisp and clean passing skills. He had a wicked slap shot, along with the hockey sense and puck control skills that were meticulously honed while ruining far too many of my parents' garage doors to count. In 1985, Brian was chosen first overall in the OHL draft by the Kingston Canadians, and he went on to play for them for 3 seasons. In 1987, Brian was chosen 9th overall by the Quebec Nordiques in the NHL draft. After the NHL draft, it was decided by the Quebec Nordiques that Brian would continue to play in the OHL for 1 more season before heading up to the NHL. Later that summer, Brian was traded by the Kingston Canadians to a newly formed team called the Niagara Falls Thunder in the 1988-89 hockey season. And this is when the magic happened. Under the coaching skills of the late Mr. Bill LaForge, plus being part of a team made up of an elite and extremely talented group of players, the stars aligned and Brian had the season of his life. Brian scored 47 goals, 108 assists for 155 points to become the first defenseman in major junior hockey history to win a scoring title. In the process, Brian's 47 goals shattered the mark for goals in a season by a defenseman, which was 38, set by Bobby Orr in 1965-66, and equaled by Al McGuinness in 1982-83. His 108 assists broke the record for assists in a season by a defenseman, which was 96, set by Doug Crossman of the Ottawa 67s in 1979-1980. His 155 points bettered Denny Potvin's record of 123, set in 1972-73. Brian also broke the Canadian Hockey League record for points by a defenseman, which was 140, set by Cam Plant in 1983-84. Here is the grocery list of the awards he received and the accomplishments he achieved that year. CHL Player of the Year, CHL Defenseman of the Year. He won the Red Tilson Trophy for Most Outstanding Player, the Eddie Powers Memorial Trophy for Scoring Champion, the Max Kaminsky Trophy for Most Outstanding Defenseman. Brian was also named the Hockey News Junior Hockey Player of the Year for 1988-89 season. He won the OHL Milestone Award for most goals by a defenseman, which was 47, most assists by a defenseman, which was 108, and most points by a defenseman was 155. He also had the OHL game record for the most points in one game by a defenseman, which was 8, and he did that twice. Funny though, in one of his interviews, he was quoted as saying, in his unassuming Brian as I know him kind of way, "I don't think you ever go in expecting a year like that. I was just hoping to maybe get 20 goals and 70 assists and stay out of trouble." And so that was Brian's year, in a nutshell, the pinnacle of his success. He went on to play for the Quebec Nordiques, where he maintains the distinction of recording the last hat trick as a defenseman in that franchise. Brian also played for the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Montreal Canadiens, as well as several other minor and international hockey teams before his death on March 6, 2002. I would like to close this evening by sharing the fact that this has been an extremely emotional time for our family, both happy and sad, having to peel back and expose the multifaceted layers of memories that have been well protected and hidden to the outside world for all these years. Thank you once again to the Brantford and Area Sports Hall of Recognition for this huge honor and recognition of Brian. We are proud and oh so grateful. Let me close by sharing these quintessential words of advice that Brian would get from our grandfather, Frederick Charles Kent, before a game. When you get to the blue line, shoot. Thanks to each and every one of you for your support in celebrating our exceptional Brantford and area athletes. Please enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.
First of all, thank you very much, ladies. That was a terrific, heartfelt introduction of your brother and son. And Bill is now here to present you with the Hall of Recognition plaque.
Oh, sorry. That's okay. Okay.
There you go. Why don't you step here?
Thank you, Dave. This is for
Our next inductee, Derek Graham. In my opinion, Derek would have been a great teammate, as everywhere he played, it seems they won. Starting off in Brantford, he won provincial and Zone 8 titles, that was just the tip of the iceberg, as he went on to play for teams that won all 4 Canadian lacrosse titles, Mann Cup, Minto Cup, etc., etc. He would end up winning 8 national titles in Kitchener, North Shore, St. Catharines, Brampton, and Six Nations, yes, even in the Mecca of box lacrosse. Derek was an original member of Canada's National Junior Program. He also won silver medal in the World Field Championships in Australia in 1988. I welcome Derek Graham to the stage.
Good evening, Brantford sports fans. Let me begin by thanking the Brantford Sports Hall of Recognition Committee members for making my induction possible. I'd also like to thank my good friend Hubert Hiltz and his family for putting my name forward. This is something that I will always cherish and I'm very proud of. To my family and friends, thank you very much for being here tonight. Growing up in Brantford was a wonderful experience for me. I played many sports for Brantford teams and always had exceptional coaches. Whether it was high school sports or playing rep sports, the lesson I learned from not only my coaches, but also my teachers, is a direct result of me being inducted into the 2017 Brantford Sports Hall of Fame. Playing for the Brantford Miners Lacrosse Association was something I did every summer as a kid, and I loved it. The coaches I had were second to none. I had Hall of Fame coaches throughout my career. Ron Finucane, Brian Cavan, Cap Bombery, Jim Brady, Dave Wilfong, Les Wakeling, Dave Evans, Stan Cockerton, Darius Kilgore. But my favorite of all time was, without a doubt, Gaylord Palace. If you can't pick the ball up, then you don't deserve to shoot, he would tell us. This I believe to mean that lacrosse was a team sport and everybody needed to contribute in order to be successful. The Palace family not only taught me the game of lacrosse, but also taught me what it meant to be a lacrosse player. These lessons I learned, I would go on to teach other players along the way. Gaylord told me when I was 12 that if I win enough championships, I would be remembered in the Hall of Fame. Well, I guess he was right. Thank you, Gaylord. And of course, you too, Gail. There are many memorable moments throughout my lacrosse career, but for me, there are 2 which I am most proud of. The first was when I was able to hold the Mann Cup above my head while standing on the Brantford Civic Center floor. After minor lacrosse, being able to play in Brantford was something I was not given the luxury of until that 1994 season. To play in front of my hometown, in front of my family and friends, was truly satisfying. The other most memorable moment was when I was able to represent our country and compete in the World Championships in Adelaide, Australia. Some suggest that we won silver, but I can't help but to think that we lost the gold. I think it's that strive for success that I grew up with while competing in Brantford, that attitude I shared with my hometown friends, that gave me the desire of wanting to win that last game every time. Go Mustangs. Being part of Team Canada has given me the eligibility to be the athlete director on the Canadian Lacrosse Association's Board of Directors. Currently, it's my job to tend to the needs of our country's national athletes, both male and female. Professionally, I played for 6 seasons. Teams that included the Detroit Turbos, Buffalo Bandits, Syracuse Smash, Washington Power, and the New Jersey Storm. As a professional coach and general manager, I spent 5 seasons with the Buffalo Bandits. In 2008, our Bandits team won that last game, the World Championships. As an Ontario lacrosse coach, I was awarded the Jim Bishop Award while coaching Junior A with the Burlington Chiefs, as well as Coach of the Year at the Senior A level for the St. Catharines Athletics and the Six Nations Chiefs. Being from Brantford always meant a great deal to me. I realized this early on in my professional lacrosse career. This became evident to me when I was introduced in front of the crowd at the Joe Louis Arena. I was never as excited to hear my name being called as I was once they announced that I was from Brantford, and then the chills always ran through me. Or every time a team program came out, I always checked to make sure that it said that I was from Brantford. And again, the chills. To this day, when I look at team statistics for any sports, I always check to see if there's Brantford representation, and I'm always proud when there is. Brantford produces exceptional athletes and builders every year, and the ones being inducted today is a testament to that. Congratulations to all inductees, past and present. Many of my Brantford teammates and friends were exceptional athletes, and I'm most confident that one day they will be up here as we are tonight, being recognized for their amazing athletic talents. Thank you to all my wonderful family members for being here and supporting me tonight. Of all the athletic accomplishments I have achieved over the years, my greatest accomplishments are most definitely my wife Rose and I having 3 beautiful children, Kalia, Brianne, and Robert Antonio. Daddy loves you very much. Thank you, Brantford sport fans, and good night.
Next, I would like to speak about Jocelyn J. Jocelyn began her illustrious career swimming for the Brant Aquatic Club. She competed at multiple national championships and 3 Olympic trials. As a member of our national swim team from 1990 to 1993, she swam in the Pan-Pacific Games on the World Cup circuit, but a highlight would come setting a Canadian record as a member of the 4x200 relay team. Jocelyn was a graduate of Paris District High School, had to throw that in there, Jocelyn, who went on a full scholarship to Ohio State, where she was a 3-time Big Ten champion, an 11-time NCAA All-American, and a former Big Ten Athlete of the Year. Jocelyn was elected into the Ohio State Hall of Fame recently. I welcome to the stage Jocelyn J.
Thank you. I would like to begin with also congratulating my fellow inductees and honoree. It's definitely quite an honor to be included in such an illustrious crowd, but also pretty neat to also be inducted with 2 fellow swimmers, an old teammate and a swimmer of mine, John. First, I'd like to thank the Hall of Recognition Committee, Selection Committee, for recognizing our city's athletes, coaches, and builders. And to the city of Brantford. We're fortunate in Brantford to have a selection of youth sports that we do, and the support of the city in maintaining our facilities and working with and supporting all the sports in the user groups. On a Brantford Aquatic Club note, I would like to thank Karen Winter and her team in working with our club to maintain a high standard, whether it's facility care or collaborating with our rental needs to continue to run traditionally successful local, provincial, and national competitions. Secondly, I'd like to thank all my coaches. I'm going to well up, and I apologize for that. I'd like to thank all my coaches along this journey to this honor: Sandy Lee, Brian Anderson, Ernie Walton, Sue Yaremchuk, Jill Penson, Joanna Finch, Hans Watola, and Mark Fellner. I would like to thank them all for having, an enormous amount of patience with me through my lazy and carefree years, to being interested in more the traveling and free swag than the competition, but the competition certainly came along. To Hans, thank you for your patience with us girls and learning the pecking order and how to properly share our opinions. You were a very supportive and fun coach to swim for, especially as our backup coach when Mark was away. Thank you to Mark for teaching me about the sport and myself, the patience he had with my opinions. I tried to convince him that I was a sprinter although he'd have none of that. It seemed reasonable. He helped me learn my potential, always being a step ahead. He says his greatest challenge with me was the 2 years he was helping me master the 4 strokes, and built enough confidence for me to get up on the block and race the best in Canada. Lastly, thank you to my family for your endless love and support, to my sister for not letting up. Your footsteps could always be heard, even off at university. To my dad for your lighthearted approach to everything except making sure my oil is changed on my car. And most of all, to my mom for teaching all those transferable skills that aren't necessarily taught today. Responsibility to my sport, that I owned it. Accountability to both my coaches and my parents. Commitment and what that meant. And the sportsmanship that came along with success and failure. You were my rock through the tough times, especially Olympic trials in '96. All your emotional support and conditional love. Value of friends and necessity of teammates. And thank you for being the most fantastic and reliable Uber driver. Looking back on my career now, I am most thankful for the memories and relationships, the great times, watching Alison Higson break a world record at the 88 Olympic trials, the memorable moments like the 18-hour van rides to Quebec City, Saturday nights watching movies with teammates and coming home during university breaks, getting together for rock and bowling and admirable onion rings. The achievements I remember were the challenges beaten, not the awards or the time standards. As a memorable achievement, this is certainly at the top of the list. Thank you very much.
Shay McNichol. In 1986, at only 13 years old, she smashed the Canadian age group record in the 200-meter butterfly. She swam for the Canadian national youth team in Darmstadt, West Germany. My German's not that good. Where she won gold medals in the 100 and 200-meter butterfly, the 400-meter individual medley, as well as a silver in the 200 IM. She was also a member of silver medal winning relay teams. In 1987, Shay qualified for the Pan Am Games in Indianapolis, winning bronze in the 200-meter butterfly. Last of all, the Olympic trials of 1988, where she placed 5th. She swam for the Canadian national swim team for 3 years. Congratulations and welcome, Shay McNichol.
Good evening. First, I'd like to acknowledge the achievements of the other 5 inductees honored tonight and offer my sincere congratulations to everyone. Personally, I can't express how pleased I am being selected by the Sports of Hall of Fame and Recognition Committee for this tribute. It is truly an honor. Thank you, Sean Rogers, for the continuous nominees. Any swimming success I may have achieved was accomplished by the unwavering support of my parents. My mom, thank you for all your love and support. And my dad, who was hugely instrumental in helping me achieve my goals and dreams, sacrificing all to make it possible. The encouragement of my brothers Trevor and Trent, and the inspiration of my coaches from Ernie Walton to Mike Finch to Mark Fellner. I also have to say this moment is much bigger than me. This moment is also for my children, Hunter and Cameron. Thank you again.
want to know if John's still awake down there.
He was never asleep.
Good man. Well, John, a lot of my buddies see you most mornings training at the Gretzky pool, and you're probably still there around lunch from what I understand. I also understand that you didn't listen when you were a child and they told you that you weren't cut out for swimming. And 9 decades later, you're still at it. You're making a lot of people in here tired and they haven't even been near the pool, John. John's a 2-time age class world champion, also winning numerous national and provincial titles in a variety of disciplines along the way. But most of all, John, you are an inspiration to us all. You, sir, you're remarkable. Come on up, John.
Thank you for your kind words.
I think I watched this one in Montreal. Were you in Montreal? Yeah, Mike set them up, so I watched this one from Brantford.
When people asked me about this wonderful occasion, I thought, well, I'll take it all in stride. But my heart is pounding faster now than after winning that World Championship race. I'd like to congratulate all my fellow inductees and all those that came before us. I'm greatly honored to stand here before you on this greatest day of my swimming career. This is the high point, the zenith, the absolute top. I will spare you the other 57 synonyms. And I want to start saying all my thank yous to all the people that were indispensable for me getting here. First of all, my son Paul, who nominated me again and again and again, did all the paperwork, and I would not be here without his efforts. Thank you, Paul. And then there is my coach, Jocelyn J., who continuously yells at me to keep my Tom Wirth head down. Inside joke, but you probably get what I mean. Where are we? Okay. I have been asked by a good number of people to talk about what makes a champion athlete. All the attributes which are often mentioned are always cliches, such as ambition, motivation, dedication, and this one makes me laugh. Sweat the small stuff. Now, what do you think I have a coach for? Sweat, yeah, and that coach is Jocelyn J., of course. One of the attributes which I did not mention, but will later, I hope applies to me. In 1946, I was honored to participate in a simultaneous chess match, of all things, against then world champion Dr. Max Euwe. After about 8 moves, my game was already hopelessly lost. And the honorable thing is to resign. But I didn't know that, so I hung in there and made the great man work for his win for another 30 moves. I was the last one of 20 to lose. And then there was, and still is, Manny Sangeli. Manny easily the absolute best breaststroke swimmer in the world in my age group, having won many world championships. The first time we met was in 1985, and many times thereafter, and he always won, until 2013. At the Pan American Master Swimming Championships, I took 2 out of 3 races from him. It only took me 28 years. And what did I have to do this? Tent City. Tent City? Who wrote this? handwritten typo, sorry. The word is tenacity. And I believe that that is what sets me apart from many another athlete. The ability to set a goal, sink your teeth into, and stay with it until you succeed. Still, one might not prevail without one more vital ingredient, not drugs. Support team. My support team is huge. My coach, of course, but also family. And here tonight, sorry, in spirit only, my wife, who passed away. But my support team is huge. And all those friends I see almost daily at the pool encouraging me, the members of my club, taking an interest in me, rejoicing in my accomplishments. And with a team like that, how can I possibly lose? Thanks, guys and girls, all of you. To be inducted into the Brantford Sports Hall of Recognition is sweeter than any of my victories. Nothing will ever top this. Thank you all for bestowing this honor upon me. Finally, and this has nothing to do with swimming, I found a new hobby. 2 weeks ago, honest, I became a poet. I had no idea I had it in me. But one day, in one of my dreams, this beautiful, black-haired, blue-eyed lady came to me and says, "John, you must recite a poem at your induction ceremony, and I'm here to help you. I will tell you her name later." Here's the poem. Some climb that grueling mountain, while others path down the hill. But unless you climb that mountain, succeed, you never will. Some climb that grueling mountain, while others halfway stop. But unless you keep climbing that mountain, you will never reach the top. And a beautiful lady, Erato. Some of you will know who Erato is. The ones that don't know, ask your neighbor, they will know. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah. Another one? Excellent. Thank you. Ooh. Yeah. Old lady. Thank you.
Did I leave my glasses up here?
Yeah, I gave him to Pat Shushak.
Pat, you have those glasses.
Thanks so much, John. Bill Morgan. Bill was introduced to judo at age 15 while he was competing in the 1990 World Games as a wrestler. For 20 years, from 1990 to 2010, he studied judo, earning the rank of Sandan. Now, for those of you who don't know what Sandan is, it's one of the rankings of the black belt status. Some of the others are Shidan, Nidan, and I thought I'd just look that up, Bill, so I'd sound smart. Bill was a national team member, achieving numerous medals while competing in 11 different countries. Bill was a Pan Am champion in 1999 and a two-time world bronze medalist. He also competed in 3 Olympics, Sydney, Athens, and Beijing, achieving a 5th and 2 7th place finishes. Congratulations, Bill, on your athletic career and everything you have given back to other students at W. Ross McDonald. Welcome, Bill.
First, I'd like to thank Pat Shuchuk for nominating me to the Brantford and Area Sports Hall of Recognition. Secondly, I'd like to thank the Brantford and Area Sports Hall of Recognition Executive Committee for inducting me into the Sports Hall, but more importantly for your hard work that you do to recognize our local area athletes and builders for their hard work and accomplishments. It is a true honor to be recognized as one of this year's inductees into the Brantford and Area Sports Hall. I want to congratulate the others who are also being inducted this evening. When I took a look back at some of our past and current inductees, I realized what an elite group of people I was joining in this amazing community. It was a surprise to me that I would be receiving such an honor. But I'm overwhelmed with joy to be here this evening. I remember getting the call on a Sunday afternoon, and I apologize, I forget actually who called me, and I was advised to keep it as a secret, and I did so until the actual official paperwork was to come out. When I began attending the W. Ross McDonald School in 1985 here in Brantford, I quickly learned of the school motto, which was this: the impossible is only the untried. It wasn't long before I was trying everything. Sports as a competitor, sports as a recreationalist, and an assortment of activities made available to me. Most of these opportunities had never been available to me as a result of having a visual impairment and a general nervousness and concern for me becoming injured. Thank you to the support of the staff at the W. Ross McDonald School, I had these opportunities made available to me. In particular, Mr. Howe, who, yes, I still struggle to call him John, took me under his wing and taught me what it takes to be successful in sport, but more importantly, life. As much as this honor is to recognize me, I would not be standing here if not for the love and support of so many people that I've received over the years. It takes a lot to make a competitive athlete successful. In the early years, it was my mom who made every effort possible to be sure that I could be at every competition. Throughout the years, the many coaches, sports therapists, my friends, my family, and my training partners, one of which is here tonight. My friend Dave gave up a tremendous amount of time during my peak. Even dragging him out of beds, coming off of night shifts, did not matter. Never said no. And it's those people that allow us to become who we are. Lastly, my beautiful wife, Risa, who's here tonight. Not only was she my #1 fan, but she had to put up with me through the good and the bad. And believe me, there's lots of bad, because there's a lot of ups and downs, and it's quite an emotional roller coaster. And it takes a special person to be tolerant and to be patient of those times. But Risa ensured I was where I needed to be. She made sure my nutrition was taken care of, and countless details that I never had to think about, which simply made my job to be an elite athlete much easier. Thank you again to all who made this special evening possible.
Hang on beside me here. Thank you. Just turn them to your right. Here we go. Perfect. And I'll turn these around. Here we go. Excellent. Now we've got to go forward for these couple stairs. Perfect. Here.
Kent Dickson. Now, Kent uses business acumen, I saw that in the program, which means good judgment and quick decisions, to coach and assemble outstanding football programs. He was very instrumental with the Bisons and the forming into championship quality the Assumption Lions High School football. Kent also surrounded himself with outstanding people, such as a frontline coach, Kelly Ireland. Kent's knowledge, coaching commitment, and financial support greatly enhanced all those around him. Kent, everything you have done has benefited many, and we thank you for that. Kent Dickson.
Can you hear me all right back there? Those are all my people back there. So I have to make sure they hear me. I have speaking challenge, but I'll do my best. For those of you who know me, you know that what this means to me. I'm not even going to try to put it into words, because it doesn't matter what I say. No words are adequate to express how I feel. I want to thank the members for its all of recognition for recognizing me. You know, people ask me all the time, why do you spend so much time coaching? How does a busy guy like you find the time to coach? I do it because I love coaching football. I'll tell you something, and it's honest truth. I've gotten more of coaching than I've put in. All the great relationships I've developed with other coaches, former players that I coach with, coaches now. It includes Jed. Former teachers, former principals at Assumption, and the current principal, Greg Coney, who I count as a good friend. I am so lucky I've got a former player who played for me, who is coming to look after me in the summer. My wife a break. I've got so many good memories of the good times. It's important now. So thank you, former players, for going through the wall for me. Thank you to the parents for trusting me with your most valuable asset, your kids. Thank you, former principals of Assumption, and to you, Greg, for indulging me and allowing me to coach. But our family, I want to thank them for all they've done for me. But the people I want to thank most are my fellow coaches, many of whom are here tonight. You guys allowed me, you were the brains behind the operation. You guys allowed me to fool a lot of people into think I knew what I was doing. But I'd be remiss if I didn't think this person, this individual allowed me to receive a passion. Once, my biggest support, my wife, thank you.
I would just like to thank all of the inductees this evening for sharing their stories with us. It was a wonderful night, very emotional, and it means a lot to everybody sitting in here to hear everything that we heard tonight and to observe everything that we saw tonight. And I commend everybody for their contributions to the sports hall this evening. Thank you. I'd like to invite one of last year's inductees, Jim Carmen, to the podium to welcome the new inductees into the sports hall. Jim?
I'm sure all you guys have got a special feeling inside you with this great accomplishment of being recognized into the Brantford Sports Hall of Fame. I know when I was introduced last year, the amazing feeling that was over me was just unbelievable. And quite frankly, I still have that feeling. The athletes that have been to the Olympics, it's always a special feeling, and I had that feeling too. But when I was asked, or when I was told that I was going to be part of the Brantford Sports Hall of Fame, it was a different feeling than going to the Olympics or going to a Memorial Cup or doing a provincial championship. So on behalf of the selection committee and all the inductees into the Brantford Sports Hall of Fame, congratulations.
I'd now like to thank the Sports Hall committees and staff for their dedication and commitment to the Sports Hall. I'm not going to thank myself. Piper John McLeod, all the inductees. All I got to do now is find my list. The Executive Committee, Bill Harding, who's the chair, Bob Ian, vice chair, Sue Bartlett, Vince Bucci, Lisa Campbell, Richard Doyle, Trudy Ian, Rick Mannon, Bob McGeehan, Rob Nagy, Pat Shushuk, Chad Wilson, Ron Burkett, Cliff Atfield, Cheryl Henhock. Selection Committee, Ron Burkett, Jay Shushuk, Ron Craig, Dave Giancola, Ron Jamula, Paul Mitchell, Glenn Savory, Robbie Vipond. Induction Ceremony Committee, Pat Shushuk, Lisa Campbell, Bob Ian, Trudy Ian, Rick Mannon. Parks and Recreation staff, Sharon Sales, Dana Steen, and to anybody else who had any hand at all, including the Best Western staff, for making this a wonderful evening this evening. Thank you. We'd also like to thank David Aguirre and Patty Berardi from Rogers TV for filming and producing tonight's induction ceremonies that will air Friday, June 16th on the Rogers Podium series. Thank you. Thanks to Kara Wilson from Wilson Sports Photography for being our official photographer. And she invites all the new inductees to go to the photo area located to the right of the stage for pictures immediately following the ceremony. Also, this evening's inductees, if you would stop by and see Dana down here to my left, she would like to speak with you about potential artifacts that would follow you into the Sports Hall. For closing remarks, I'll call the chair of the Executive Committee, Bill Harding.
Thank you, Ross. Please join me in thanking Ross for a great job as Master of Ceremonies. Ross. His contract's up, but it's up for renewal next week. He wants to sit down and talk about his compensation. A couple of added announcements tonight. The Sports Hall Executive Committee is hosting inaugural Friends of the Sports Hall golf tournament at Northridge Golf Club on Friday, July the 14th. For any added information on the tournament and how you could participate, stop by the reception desk and pick up a registration form or information on the tournament and sponsorship package. We still have some room for people to play, and it's becoming a homecoming more than it is a golf tournament. We have a lot of inductees that are coming back. We have a number of alumni in the community that are participating. So come on out, support it, and have some fun and some friendship. I also encourage everyone to stop by the Wayne Gretzky Sports Center and visit the Sports Hall. There's constantly updates and changes. The Brantford Area Sports Hall of Recognition is a first-class venue to display and honor outstanding accomplishments and dedication of Brantford and area athletes, sports builders, teams that have reached the pinnacle of their sport. These inductees have made a significant contribution to our community, and by preserving their achievements in the Sports Hall, they will continue to serve as an inspiration to generations of talented young athletes that will continue to represent our community and on the world stage. So you can check out our website. The new website is www.brantfordareasportshall.ca, and you can see all the information from tonight. That'll be updated real soon, Dana says. And just a couple of housekeeping issues. There's a table flowers at each table. They're compliments of the Sports Hall Executive Committee, and to avoid any arm wrestling, the flowers are going to the person whose birthday is closest to June 8th. I think the Fogartys may have that wrapped up somewhere at a couple of tables. So June 8th, closest birthday to June 8th, unless you want to arm wrestle somebody, you can do that too. I just want to remind the Sports Hall executive and okay, there's arm wrestling going on out there, I can hear it. I want to remind the Sports Hall executive and selection committee. Everyone's trying to tell what their birthday. No, December doesn't work for anybody. I'm sorry. Okay. So just a reminder to the Sports Hall executive and selection committee, we're going to the photo area to have a ceremony photo, official photo of the group. And again, thank you for all being part of this Sports Hall of induction ceremonies, and a special thank you to past inductees, honorees, supporters, and a special heartfelt welcome to our 2017 members. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your evening.